Okay, this is the second video, maybe my last. I've already made a video on the Turkish prices. I made one on the US prices. I made one, I think, describing the Philippines prices. I'll discuss the German prices, the Australia prices, which were kind of interesting, prices in Nordpool, which again is a nice database. I hope that background noise, and some prices in Korea. And for each of these prices, I hope I've done the hard work. And I hope we can update these prices very, very easily. It would be wonderful if somebody would do this for me, but that won't happen. I'll talk about the I think I'll talk about the German prices first, and then the Australia prices, and then Nordpool prices. So for the German prices, I'm moaning again. I think I have a right to. You go to this website called EEX, and they change some of the stuff. And basically, you cannot get. The only thing they give you is quarterly prices. So this file that I'm going to open right now just goes and get the rest of the stuff you have to pay for. How ridiculous is that? But at least the prices they give you are in a kind of nice, clean thing. So you go to this thing called Read the German Prices, okay? And then I'll explain how it works a little bit, okay? We were going to retrieve the electricity prices from this website, retrieve the gas prices from the Pink Data World Bank sheet, retrieve the euro exchange rate from the daily exchange rate US EU. That's what it stands for in the St. Louis Fed. You just read all of those things. You press this read all button. It reads all of them. And it deletes the old sheet and rereads the new sheet. And then here's what's happened. So it goes back to 2001. That's a nice thing. You just read it in and it just updates it. And this is the relationship is kind of interesting. First of all, the prices, they have come down to this kind of level. Now, look at this. They come down to 20 US. Now they've gone up again, but 20 US dollars a megawatt hour when they used to be 50. If you were building a merchant, I'm on the wrong thing, the blue one. If they were up to 50 up here, I should make this a little smaller, shouldn't I? No. Save the file. Ah, shoot, that's too bad. Okay. What a waste of your time. Sorry about that. Oh, another dislike from my friend. And then they've gone up recently, okay? But the relationship between the gas prices and the electricity price is almost more interesting. The blue line used to be above the red line, and then starting somewhere in 2012, the reverse happened. This could be from renewable, from declining demand, from some kind of relationship with gas prices coming down. But the point is, you've got a dramatic change in the heat rate. Now, this heat rate that I'm showing you, which is horrible. Oh my gosh, it's 4 MMBTU per megawatt hour. I should put that on the scale. Please don't give me a dislike for that. That is extremely low. That can't really be compared to the US, because these are not only on peak hours. These are ATC, around the clock prices. So we really can't compare that. So, I don't know how to really judge whether the on-peak prices could be a little higher and the off-peak could be zero. So maybe a combined cycle plant could have been surviving here. What seems to have happened, if you tell a story, is they probably retired some capacity. Here they did that. So that's the German prices. You just click on those buttons and you're halas. vous avez terminé. Then, oh, I gotta close this one. This is from my last video. And then let's look at the Australian prices, okay? Now, Australia did something interesting. The websites are very transparent, very good, okay? Really impressive. But if you want the hourly prices, here's the problem you have to do. And I did this for you. You have to, you go and you download each separate month for each separate region. They have New South Wales, they have Queensland, they have Southern Australia, they have Victoria. So New South Wales, they have all of these different prices. All right, it's working on it, it says. Okay, and then you just, I hope I still have them here. And there's a technique. It's a little bit like the Workbook's Open. What you do is you take all these CSV, commas, separated something or other, files. All right, what's going on now? Oh, shoot. Just a minute. Okay, no problem. You take all of these files and put them into one file. And that's what this file named, and they turn out to be a pretty big file because these are hour by hour back through, I think, 1999 or something. This is going really slowly because I'm recording. It's not slow. Now this file, which is 26, whatever that is, megabytes, that one, now I'm going to show you a shortened version of it, how the technique that you can use to read all the files. So this one will be tiny little bit more about Excel. Now I'm not I'm not claiming. All I did here was looked up on the internet and found somebody else who did the same kind of thing. You go through and you put it in a directory. I gotta pause this. Okay, I put it in the databases and data retrieval, and I also put it on the website in the a page called Merchant Prices that we just looked at. And there is a file that is named Macros to Read Files. That's not a great description, fine. This is a macro that you just use, and it's got references, don't worry. And here's what you do. It's so cool. You just click on this macro. I'll just walk you through it. Again, I'm not trying to be arrogant here. I called it merge in folder. And you just define a name. I put the name, and I put it right in the C drive. So I made a simple little name called Australia, and I just copied, so that's the path name. It could be some really long path name, I suppose. I didn't try it with a really long path name, but I'm sure that would be fine. Well, not absolutely, but. And then you read on, this time I'm reading all the CSV files. So I read I said all the .csv. It could be .xls, it could be anything else. And then you go around a loop, and while the file name is not equal blank in the loop, it says, I just say what file we're reading, I keep track of how many sheets we have, and then this is the key thing. This workbooks.open, it's kind of just like reading from the internet. And then I just take that sheet and move it after the num sheets, the num sheets we have. That closes the file, and then you go to the next file name here. This is the key, I guess. I didn't know how to do this, and then it just goes around and around, and it puts them all in one name. And once you put them all in one name, then you get, I just made a little macro that puts a list together, and then you use the match index and indirect to get all the data. And I should have done this again to make it a little more efficient. I shouldn't really have used the whole row in the column. I just kind of learned that because I saw in one of the files just how long it took. So now I'm going to go back and we're going to look at those Australian prices. Okay, so I'm back and I'm going to read this thing called New South Wales Hourly Database, which just takes, I hope I didn't just screw it up, but it just takes all those prices and just puts them together. Okay, and I put, now of course as usual I put the I put it in a common currency, and the reason it's nice to have these hourly databases, where is our here's our price database. So once we put them all together, and again, here's, we can get very philosophical about this, maybe I'm going to get in trouble. Some people try to change history. Some people try to rewrite history. A lot of politicians do, and maybe this is what I should be very careful about making any political statements. Okay, but in these prices, we're not going to rewrite history. That means we copy and paste them fixed. That means we can fix the historic prices and just read in all the incremental new prices. That means it's all done. You just have to then go to the website, and I have to show you the website again. You go to the website and just read in the new data if you're really interested in studying what's happened to prices recently. Now, one of the nice things you can do is, notice they have demand here. They have the demand. Here's the demand. What a little bitty system, really. And I'm working on a testimony. It sucks. And the demand for the system I'm looking at is 25,000 megawatts. So that just took way too long. I didn't really care about doing that. Oh, there's the demand. I don't know what happened to some really low demands. Here is the rule for scatter plots. 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 The rule is that you leave the x-axis blank, you select these two, you press F11, and you change the chart to a scatter. It will think this is the x-axis. And the interesting thing here is in New South Wales we have a lot of these extreme price spikes. 2,000, 1,000, they happen a lot. 500. There are a lot of price spikes in Australia that you don't see other places. Oh, I guess that was the daily price that I spelled wrong. And so here's the hourly price, and this is a scatter plot of the hourly price versus demand. And you would expect that the prices to spike only when you have a really high demand. Oh, I guess it did go up to 10,000. I'm sorry. It's not that small. So the question is, what are all these prices doing here? That's a little analysis, and then we can look with all those prices. What's the price in USD? You know, and I'm just not good enough to process all these things in my mind. You know, enough. But I should be looking at what the prices in different regions of the world are. Now, you can't really do that because you have to adjust for gas and oil prices, mainly gas prices. But let's put about 60 here as the maximum. And you can see that the price here is 30, 40, 50. The price has been 50 USD per megawatt hour, a lot. Now, the other thing they give you, on the website, oh, I didn't put it in this sheet. I'm going to close it. They gave you another whole sheet with gas prices in Australia. Now, that was a little bit of a problem because the gas prices didn't go as far back as the electricity prices. I put this in Read All Australia. Okay, and then when I put the gas together with the electricity prices, it was a little more confusing. But the gas prices look to be a lot lower. Now, I just collected a bunch of these these links, just a bunch of these links from the regulatory agency, and it's getting so much faster. And I hope that you start to look at this technique. If somebody has a better way to scrape data, I'm sure you can write some Java or C++ code or something like this. But you just start seeing, here's the read one. You just use the workbooks.open, get the cells, copy it, paste special, put it in the workbook, and then you're finished. And then you just read them all in. And I just read a whole bunch of things in, and it gives you crappy formats that you can fix. But the interesting thing here is the gas prices they give you. So they give you some consumption data and some gas prices, and these gas prices are weighted average gas prices are really, really low. These are Australian dollars, but they're still very low, and they didn't really look like the LNG prices in Japan. So that's the, I think I'm going to stop here. That's the Australia issues. The most interesting thing is how you can read all of those separate files in. Should have gone to the website. I'll put that on the link, and